So you're getting ready to go on your trip on the beautiful Norwegian Jade, and you're thinking, oh, I've got my excursions, got some plans, but I don't know what to do about food. What's included? What's extra? Don't worry, we just got off a 6-day cruise to Mexico on the Norwegian Jade, so I've got all the details and recommendations for you about dining. So let's find out what's there and what we'd recommend. Let's get started off on deck 13 with 2 specialty dining restaurants. We're going to go with Cagney's and Moderno. First, let's stop at this 1930s style elegant steakhouse. It reminds me of Mad Men, if you remember the show Mad Men. Cagney's is an upcharge, $60 plus gratuity, or it could be included as part of your specialty dining package. This fireplace was actually added in 2017. Here's a special important tip. Your $60 cover charge does include 3 appetizers, 1 entree, 2 sides, and you can have up to 3 desserts, which is wild. This restaurant features a very elegant, upscale dining vibe, and whenever anyone asks me what specialty dining to book on Norwegian, I consistently recommend Cagney's. If I could only pick one, I would always pick Cagney's. During my dining experience, I went with my personal favorite and a unanimous favorite on Cagney's, on NCL, which is the 8-ounce filet mignon. It was incredible. But you have a whole host of selections, as well as I said, 3 appetizers. My personal favorite appetizer, by the way, is the wedge salad. But if you're not sure, you have 3 to pick from. It's an excellent choice. Cagney's is my number 1 favorite specialty dining. It's why we started with this one, but it's not the only option. We go back on deck 13, right around, we're actually going to hit a secret little bar that I love called Sugarcane Mojito Bar. If you get a chance to stop at Sugarcane, they make some absolutely amazing mojitos, top notch, and it is fitting with the theme. And that theme is a Brazilian steakhouse, or Moderno Churrascaria. You want to think dining theater is what I would call it. It's a Brazilian style steakhouse. So after you grab your mojito, you can head on over to the Brazilian Steakhouse. Again, it's an upcharge, $50 plus gratuity, or included in your specialty dining. This area right here is the buffet. So before your meal, you can grab small items. They actually do have sushi. They have salads, small items like fruits as well. Don't fill up too much here because after you hit up this included buffet area, they're going to come tableside right to your table with hand-carved meats. Literally as much as you can handle. So I did not dine at Moderno on this particular voyage. A fellow cruiser did dine at Moderno, and she said that it was excellent. She said it was her favorite on the entire ship. So if you like quality meats, you've got Cagney's, you've got Moderno. It is an upcharge or part of your dining package, but I highly recommend it. Let's go ahead and head out of Moderno and see what else we could find. On the same deck 13, you're going to have the pit stop. Now, the thing about the pit stop is NCL does list that this is a restaurant, but I actually never saw anyone have any food at this restaurant ever. It is definitely a bar, and you should also know that it is the smoking area of the ship. So if you're looking to find that area, you can clearly see this is where it is. Full service bar, it overlooks the pool, and they do technically have this listed as a restaurant, but as I said, I never saw anyone with any food at this location. So for now, it remains a bit of a mystery. If you head to the pit stop and you grab some food, let us know. Let's go see what's down on deck 12. Aha, everyone asks me about the buffet. In the NCL Jade, it is called the Garden Café. And as cruise ship buffets go, it is probably one of the larger buffets that I've had a chance to experience. And one of the things I love about the Jade compared with some of the newer ships, both from NCL and others, is newer ships have really minimized the size of the buffet, which makes the waiting lines much longer. On newer ships, you're definitely going to have a line at the buffet. On the NCL Jade, you're not going to have a line. The breakfast items were really comprehensive. As you can see here, there's an omelet station that I partook in. But the lunch and dinner items are also comprehensive as well. They have things like pizza, pasta, salads, specialty items each night of the cruise. You're never going to have trouble finding items to eat at the buffet. But I would let you know, one surprise, the buffet is not actually open during all hours of the day. I really loved the pizza section of the buffet. It reminded me a lot of Princess cruises, to be honest with you. but they also had a ton of desserts. And in the buffet, some of their culinary experts really love to make these sort of artistic food decorations. Check out this frog. I thought that was really fun. Another area of the buffet that is a little pro tip for you is they do have a juice bar, so you could buy some fresh squeezed juice at the juice bar. You can also get drinks here, so sodas, alcoholic beverages. Sometimes this is the fastest way to get a drink on the whole ship, by the way. Just check that out. When the buffet is not open, sometimes you're going to see an extension of the buffet in the back of the ship, or the aft of the ship, which is called the Great Outdoors. It's sort of a micro buffet, and it has smaller items, but sometimes when the main buffet is actually closed, if you go to the back, after the ship, deck 13, you're going to see the Great Outdoors. Now, adjacent to the Great Outdoors and Garden Café is actually La Cucina. La Cucina is a specialty dining restaurant. Little bit of a pro tip, it serves as overflow seating for the buffet, as you can see here in the morning. It's a really calm space to enjoy your breakfast. But when it's not buffet extra seating, it is a Italian-themed specialty dining restaurant. I'm going to be honest with you, it reminds me a lot of Olive Garden, just in terms of food quality and price, as well as the selection. We generally like to go to La Cucina because it has a ton of value, and it's also a nice place to sit down and have a nice specialty dining. One of my favorite items here happens to be the calamari. Okay, friends, we're still on deck 12. This is right by the pool. It's called Topsiders. It is another bar and dining establishment. This is also what I would call just a very small extension of the buffet. Food is here mainly during the lunch hour. It's things like hot dogs, hamburgers, French fries, that sort of thing. Real fast, by the pool, grab a drink. That's deck 12. So that's going to be all the dining in this area. Let's go down to deck 8. In this beautiful area of the atrium, you're going to find the sort of almost 24-hour restaurant called O'Shea's. O'Shea's is an Irish-themed neighborhood pub. And aside from a few quick resets that they do, if everything else is closed and you need a place to grab something to eat, you're going to head to O'Shea's, which is also known as the local on other ships. It's an Irish-themed pub. It has that bar food. One of my favorite places to grab a burger, maybe grab a beer. The service was top-notch at O'Shea's. Really had a great time. And the thing about it is, it was never packed. It was always managed really, really well. That's all there is to see on deck 8. I promise you're going to love O'Shea's, but let's hop down now to deck 7. We're going to go to Jasmine. This is 3 things in one. First, you've got the sake bar. Sake is a general access bar that you can get to anytime. Then you have Jasmine Garden. Jasmine Garden is a specialty dining restaurant. This is a sort of Asian fusion restaurant. I ate here as a specialty dining option, and I'm going to tell you very honestly, I think it was a miss. You do have the option to order from sushi and several other items as well. So I got some sushi, this honey shrimp, and also Cantonese shrimp, but I gotta tell you, Jasmine Garden did not feel like a good value to me, and I can't recommend it. I would skip Jasmine Garden on NCL Jade. They also have a sushi section, a 10-seat sushi area that is also an upcharge. People did recommend and said they had a really good time here. All right, so also here on the same deck, in the same space and area, is teppanyaki. And I feel like a lot of cruise lines do teppanyaki, but Norwegian, it's kind of a signature that they do. And I will say, on every ship that I've been on, Norwegian really focuses on this experience. It's a great way to spend time with your family. It's fun, it's corny, it's cheesy. On the NCL Jade, it's a very intimate, small space. So you have the opportunity to connect with your friends, family, and have this sort of show and a meal opportunity. I didn't go on teppanyaki, but here's our time here on NCL's Pride of America. Everyone had great things to say about teppanyaki on the Jade. I don't think you can go wrong. It's always a fun experience. We do like teppanyaki, but you only have so much time and so much energy that you can spend. Now on deck 7, you're actually going to go down one level to deck 6 to Alizar. Alizar is a main dining experience. What does that mean? Okay, it means it's included with your package. Technically, you don't have to pay any extra money, and you can dine here every single day, not a problem at all. Alizar is only open at nighttime, in my experience on the Jade. So you're gonna have dinner here in the main dining area. What I'll say about Alizar, it's a smaller space than the space we're gonna review next, which is Grand Pacific. It feels a little bit more upscale, but for me personally, it felt a little bit cramped. Alizar, I mean, just look around. It's a very nice space. It's very elegant. The chairs are all these sort of leather, high-end chairs. But for included dining, Alizar is one of those options for you. Now, getting to Grand Pacific feels a little bit confusing if I'm being honest with you. It's at the very back of the ship. It's on deck 6, but you actually can't get there from deck 6. You have to only get there from deck 7. So you go as far back as you can go on deck 7, and then you technically go down one level to get to Grand Pacific on 6. You know, Grand Pacific is a really beautiful included dining option. It's this massive space. I found the service between the two to be better at Grand Pacific consistently, but also because of the size of it, Grand Pacific is often open for breakfast and lunch when Alizar is not. As you can see here, stylistically, it's a very nice, very beautiful space. It's got some Art Deco elements, some sort of New York themed 1940s elements as well. And what I will say about Grand Pacific is I really enjoyed it. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, I very much enjoyed the time that I had at Grand Pacific. Of the many Norwegian cruise ships I've been on, this is right up there with some of my very favorites. The space is clean, the food is good, the service is great. I think you're going to have a really good time at Grand Pacific. One of the things that's nice about the main dining on almost every NCL ship is you have this beautiful panoramic window view so you can check out the full ship. This was my lunch one day. It probably looks a lot like the lunch that you saw from Oceans. That's just the kind of the way it works on cruising, by the way. But dang, look at that view. I really enjoyed the back view, the window view, the side window view. But choosing between the two main dining is always going to be challenging. I just simply had a much better time in the Grand Pacific, and I suspect that you will as well. And our final restaurant is Le Bistro. It is also an upcharge or specialty dining restaurant. And again, Le Bistro is one of those restaurants I highly recommend. Le Bistro would be my second recommendation right next to Cagney's. So I would go Cagney's, Le Bistro, then La Cucina, my personal experience. Le Bistro is a French-themed specialty dining restaurant. It looks and feels a lot like La Cucina on this ship. There's a separation, degrees of difference only. But the service level at every Le Bistro on every NCL ship is just a little bit higher. Perhaps because it's a French-themed specialty dining, they take a little bit extra care to be able to give you that extra level of service. One of the things about this particular space that's actually quite common is they will utilize this space for one of my favorite activities on NCL, which is a wine tasting. So on the Bliss, on the Breakaway, on the Viva, we've used the Le Bistro space to do a wine tasting. And on the NCL Jade, we also took advantage of that. As you can see here, they're preparing for that. I've done a full review on a different video, but I really enjoyed that experience. I thought it was a high caliber, high quality wine tasting experience. And when you think about it, in this space, it just makes the most sense. It really, really does. So that's kind of another little free tip for you there if you're looking to do an activity on the ship. I only paid $25 for this wine tasting. And this was a pairing with chocolates, by the way. So that's pretty awesome. But for $25 to get a wine tasting, an explanation of the different wines, and also an explanation of the chocolates, dang, you really can't beat that. So that's one of the things they use Le Bistro for, and they do it quite well. While we look at a couple of the items that I got from Le Bistro, I do want to give you a couple of extra options that I haven't talked about. You also, of course, have a room service option, which on Norwegian has been recently changed to an additional service charge and fee, something I think that you should be aware of. Another thing that I think you should be aware of in terms of dining on Norwegian cruise, okay? Something I think is important. Norwegian has this freestyle cruising element to what they do. So in main dining, you don't have to have specifically a reservation time. In specialty dining, not only do you require reservation time, but you really need to get in there ahead of time and book that dining time. So If you haven't booked the dining time on your cruise, you're going to want to get on the very first day of your cruise, go to the designated dining area and select and reserve your actual reservations. A lot of people ask me about dress code, and the thing about Norwegian is they do have a general sort of casual, smart casual policy with freestyle cruising. What I would advise you is that Norwegian is not particularly stringent on dress code. From their website, what I would say is, here's directly. We want you to be comfortable, but tank tops for men, flip-flops, baseball caps, visors, and jeans that are overly faded with holes or tears and worn below the hips are not permitted in the main dining room or specialty restaurant. Some restaurants do list requirements of no shorts. Honestly, I've never really seen this been an issue on Norwegian Cruise Line. In general, Norwegian's freestyle policy makes the dress code really a very casual thing. Now, what I will tell you as someone who loves cruising is dress how you want to dress. If you want to take it seriously and have it fun. If you don't worry about it. Well, there you go. I hope you have fun on the Norwegian Jade and you learned a little bit more about dining, whether that's complimentary and included dining or specialty dining. Listen, make sure you get yourself specialty dining. Most packages do have at least one specialty dining included, and believe it or not, a lot of people never take advantage of that. Go treat yourself, get a great meal. And one of the last things I would tell you is if you're at any food restaurant in NCL and you're having any kind of issue, be sure to speak up. That's one thing I love about Norwegian is if you give them feedback about your situation, they're going to be more than happy to help you out. So if you do go to one of the restaurants you saw and maybe something wasn't to your liking, talk to them, send it back, get something that's good. This is your vacation. You deserve to have fun. Be sure to stick around for other videos that we have about Norwegian Jade and many other ships. And of course, thank you for following us here on the Sail Away. When you do click that subscribe button, it helps us to produce this great content, which is free, by the way, to help you enjoy your travels. Thanks for checking in. We'll see you on future episodes of the Sail Away.